Listen. This movie was originally titled 17 Bridges until someone on the crew looked it up and realized there is, in fact, 21 bridges in Manhattan, at least according to NYC Bridges. Blogspot. I'm sure it's like a NYC parking sign where there's no solid answer, but what was solid was the marketing team's determination to remind you Chadwick Boseman is an Avenger. That said, Chadwick actually got his first official producing credit with this bad boy, and his additions actually made a lot of changes to the script. They polished it up a bit, added 4 bridges, and I almost gave it a junior price before that ending settled it back down to a decent rented for me. But I definitely think it's better than the 45% that they gave it on Rotten Tomatoes, because this cop thriller should be more arresting than it is. Let me explain. So if you follow this channel, you know I'm all about actors getting their credits on sets, especially as they transition into producers.
The Russo brothers came to me the night of the premiere of Infinity War. So they came to me after they had killed me. I said, we have a script for you. And I was like, well, am I really dead?
After his addition, the spec script got diversified, which gives you a completely different view of the main character who, no lie, if you've seen this movie, they straight up, some dude comes up to him and calls him Trigger with a hard R.
You better have perfect diction calling me a trigger.
Reason being is that he shot and killed 8 while protecting and serving, and there may be a version of this script where the audience is meant to second guess his internal affairs investigation, and there's plenty of lines in the final version that seem to allude that there's a draft that was written to be that way. But thanks to the marketing and the switches that they made, I knew this guy was an Avenger.
He was coming in on his off days where, shit, if I was producing, I'd be in bed.
That said, he went at it from the angle that Denzel or De Niro would have played this role back in the 80s, 90s, if that's when this movie was made. And he really got excited with the script.
You do have action, you do have a sense of mystery, you do have an unsureness about like what's going to happen. There's something at risk. If I'm quoting Scorsese about what makes cinema.
The movie begins with Davis as a young boy attending his father's funeral, who also died on the line of duty, causing him to grow up chanting the mantra, being a cop isn't a choice. It's in my DNA. 8 executions later, and he's considered the Judge Dredd of the department. A lot of other cops question his ethics, but he legit is the only one getting the job done around there, especially when we find out that the entire department's more corrupt than a wet floppy disk. What really gets the events going is when 2 goons try to rob a restaurant looking for 30 kilos of cocaine and come across 300. Bummer. But even with them being the bad guys, it feels like a setup. That said, they then kill 7 cops along the way, so they set themselves up. These fools then try to exchange their cut of $1.5 million, but since they can't go into a Western Union, their dealer hands them $1.5 million in 20s, so these fools are chugging around bags in New York City weighing around 110 pounds, looking like an episode of Broad City. Chadwick comes in and decides to shut down Manhattan faster than the Cloverfield Monster in order to catch these goons, but the thing is, it's 1 a.m. He only has till 5 a.m. to catch him, and the movie's roughly 90 minutes. Now, I don't know what's more surprising. The fact that there were no flying bagels and not one New Yorker complained about the path and bridges being down, or the fact that it was kind of the same corrupt precinct, allowing Chadwick to investigate their corrupt precinct. That said, Taylor Kitsch dies first since he's Taylor Kitsch, and Michael, played by Stefan James, who's been killing it recently, gets away with a bunch of hard drives proving that the 85th isn't just a precinct, but apparently the amount of cops on the payroll when it comes to looking the other way. Honestly, I know it's supposed to be the twist, but the moment you show us J.K. Simmons pulling up at the scene of the crime early on, where 2 other cops were just about to pick up the 300 kilos, and J.K. says the line, "Save us the parole hearings and just kill the goons when you find them," I see no difference between him and Frank Grillo in Black and Blue, other than this time all the Jersey cops aren't in New Orleans for some reason. These guys were so obviously scummy that one of the chubby cops tries planting his ankle gun on a dude he killed before even getting his name. I don't know if they thought swapping Sienna Miller's character would make it a better twist because we wouldn't suspect her as being mean because she was a woman, but we knew she was a rat the moment she made her phone call to her kids at 1 a.m. Yeah. And Jesse was eating Subway at 2. I really do think it's an enjoyable movie and a decent cop thriller, but once you realize the precinct is corrupt and the bad guy Michael is the only one with that info, I'm not gonna lie, the ending gets a little goofy. Every time they say, keep him alive, the cops just... Half the movie becomes Chadwick Boseman fighting his own cops to not kill the guy he's trying to Probably because he doesn't know. But legit, these cops were playing Simpsons Hit and Run with Michael. They were looking to really shut down Manhattan with all the halal carts they smashed. I don't know if they even confirmed if it was a dude they were looking for, considering at a certain point, Michael changes his clothes. He even cuts his hair. They just heard on the dispatch, black man breathe, and they just went straight after him. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm surprised they didn't double tap Chadwick Boseman's character, considering these pigs.
I'd rather look the devil in the eye.
JK at the end of it really does pull a Frank Rio after Michael dies, which I don't even remember Sienna Miller getting on the train to shoot him, but whatever. JK admits to everything, saying that after the precinct was struggling financially, he had no choice but to be forced into drug trafficking. Boy, you really rushing and dragging. Overall, it's a decent cop thriller. I like Davis's journey. It's a quick movie, but an effective one where, when it comes to Boseman's character, you're seeing someone who's trying to be a hero amidst all of this corruption. Someone who's seen cocaine take down his father, and now the entire department. And someone who shut down 21 bridges for hours and somehow didn't get caught in traffic as he drives off one into the sunset. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below in the comments section. It's an interesting movie. If you saw our video on Black and Blue, this is a little bit better, I would say, but it's interesting. I would think that this is superiorly better, but some things that Black and Blue did right, this one did it. It's kind of a twofer. I don't know. You'd have to let me know your thoughts on both of them. I do prefer this one over Black and Blue, but that's probably because it's coming from a director whose other work, or the writer, I believe, did Mosul, which is a very, very good movie that we caught at one of our festivals. But it also does a really good job with, like, New York. Like, they got the Greek cups down and everything. But it is interesting to hear that originally every character was written to be white. And let's be honest, not making this anything else other than that's a completely different story, you know? If you swap out the gender or race of the character, it makes it a completely different story. And I think you can see some of the switches that weren't fully made. You know, like they switched the character in some things, but they forgot to swap out completely all the other lines. That's just my guess on there, but I'm curious to know your thoughts. Let me know down below in the comment section. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And you too can be produced by the Russos.